All right, let's dive into something we all go through. We're going to take a little journey into one of the most common and, let's be honest, super frustrating human experiences. That moment when making a choice just feels impossible. You know the feeling, right? You're staring at a giant wall of salad dressings in the supermarket, or maybe you're just scrolling endlessly through Netflix, and your brain just short circuits. It freezes. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed by what should be a super simple decision. Well, today, we're going to put a name to that feeling. So, where does our journey begin? Well, it starts with an external problem. It's this weird situation where having more options actually makes our lives harder. A real paradox, right? And yeah, there's an official term for this. It's called choice overload. So listen, this isn't just you being indecisive, okay? It's a real, recognized psychological phenomenon. It's a documented effect of being hit with way too many alternatives at once. And get this is not a new idea. Not at all. This concept has actually been around for over 50 years. A futurist named Alvin Toffler, he nailed this way back in 1970 in his book, Future Shock. He basically predicted that as society got more complex and offered more choices, we'd end up with this exact kind of mental paralysis. Pretty wild, huh? Okay, so it starts with too many options. But the problem isn't just the number of choices out there. The next stage of this whole journey, well, that happens inside our own heads. This right here is the real pivot point. See, choice overload, that just sets the stage. It's our reaction to it. That endless spiraling loop of overthinking, that's what really truly gets us stuck. And yep, you guessed it, that reaction has a name too. It's called analysis paralysis. This is when your brain just kicks into overdrive, right? It's weighing every single pro, every con, every possible outcome, until you're just frozen, totally incapable of moving forward. And the real consequence here, it isn't just feeling stressed out, it's total inaction. Like this quote says, no solution or course of action is decided upon within a natural time frame. You're just left standing there in the grocery aisle 10 minutes later, no closer to picking a salad dressing. So it's really crucial to get the difference between these two. Think of it like this. Choice overload is the external problem. It's the dozens of options right there in front of you. But analysis paralysis, that's your mind's internal response. It's that mental spiral that literally stops you from picking one. Okay, so after you've battled all those overwhelming options and gone through that crazy internal spiral of overthinking, what's left? What happens next? Well, we've reached the final stage of our little journey, the aftermath. And we have all been there. Even if you finally make a choice, you don't feel this sense of relief, do you? Nope. You just feel drained. It's a very specific kind of mental exhaustion. You could almost call it a decision hangover. And that feeling of being totally wiped out, it's not in your head. It's the real, tangible results of putting your brain through what's described here as a long session of decision-making. It's exhausting work. So what's the takeaway here? Well, the real power comes from just recognizing these roadblocks. You know, by giving a name to your nemesis, you can start to actually understand it, and maybe, just maybe, you can start to navigate around it. So let's just recap this whole journey real quick. It starts with choice overload. That's the external sea of options. That then triggers analysis paralysis, the internal endless loop of thought. And where does it often end? In plain old mental exhaustion. Just understanding that process, that's the first step. And that brings us to our final question. This one's for you to think about. Now that you have the words, the language to describe what's happening, which one of these roadblocks do you think you face the most? Is it that initial wave of choice overload? Or is it the analysis paralysis, that spiral of overthinking that comes after? Just knowing that, well, that's the first step to making better and honestly, a lot less painful decisions.